Hi everyone, welcome to AP Chemistry. So in this video we're talking about what chemistry is and what AP stands for. We'll discuss the national exam and the requirements for it, how AP Chemistry runs here at PHS, how to do your notes, and how to be successful in the course as well. So chemistry is a study of matter, and matter is anything that has mass and volume. So we manipulate matter in order to produce something new with a new type of property. We call chemistry essential science because really physics, bio, and earth science really all depend on matter and atoms. And we do a lot of problem solving in this course, so you'll find that you're using your brain a lot more than you probably have been before. So AP stands for Advanced Placement, and Advanced Placement is pretty much put together by an organization called College Board. They're the same people that do the SATs. So the AP course, or any AP course that you have, is essentially a first year, or maybe even a second year, depending on what type of course you have, college course. So essentially you are taking a college course here in high school. You will, if you earn enough or high enough credits or high enough points, you might be able to earn college credits, and that just depends on what college you're applying to and what they accept. So and all that depends on the national exam. That national exam is going to be in May, and we'll talk about that in just a second. And the AP Chemistry course involves a lot of labs embedded into our lectures, so we will be doing a lot of lab work as well. So the national AP exam for chemistry is usually, unfortunately, the first exam given, and these are the first 2 weeks of May. So if you know that you're pretty busy in May, you might want to kind of slow it down a bit because it will be a tough time. It will be a very exhausting time as well, especially if you have multiple AP courses. There is a fee associated with the exam. It's not anything that we at PHS charge, but it's the College Board in general, and that helps to pay for proctors and the test itself. Usually it's around like $90 to $100. If you know that you can't afford to take that test, but you do obviously want to take the test because you're in the course, don't feel as if you can't take it because you can't afford it. So no matter what, if you are having any financial issues, you can talk to myself or your counselor, and we will obviously be very confidential, but we don't want anyone to not take the course and not take the exam based upon finances. So the format is multiple choice and free response. The multiple choice, I always abbreviate MC, so you'll see that all throughout the year. It's an hour and 30 minutes. You cannot use a calculator, but there still will be math in there, so you have to be able to multiply and divide in your head. There's 60 multiple choice questions, and you are able to use your reference table, which we'll show you, and they'll provide that for you. The FRQs, or the free response questions, take an hour and 45 minutes, excuse me. You can use a calculator for it, but a lot of these are more theoretical questions. There are 3 long questions and 4 short questions. And you have to do all of them, and usually pretty well in order to do well on the test itself. You are able to use your reference table. So the scores go from 1 to 5. So pretty much in May, you'll go probably down to the district office, take the exam for several hours, and you won't get your results back until July. And that's when, if you are currently a senior right now, your colleges might accept the credit. If you're a sophomore or junior right now, any future colleges that you might look at might accept it as well. So the scores range from a 1 to a 5. A 1 or a 2 means that you're not quite qualified to receive credit. A 3, 4, or 5 are usually pretty good. 5 is the best score. 3 is pretty adequate. So AP Chemistry here at PHS. So essentially most of the nation has some sort of basic first year chem course, and then they take the AP course. But we actually roll it all into one course itself. So essentially here you're taking Regents Chemistry as well as AP Chemistry in one, and that's why it's usually that's why it is a double period every day. So the requirements: you'll have a composition notebook. It's a lab notebook. Make sure that you purchase one if you haven't already. I prefer college ruled, but wide ruled is fine. That lab notebook is going to be devoted strictly for this course and for our lab. You will not tear at any pages. You won't white anything out or erase anything. Everything has to be in pen, and that is a requirement of the course as well. We'll be doing a lot of group and individual work. We might have a few presentations here and there. Don't worry, they're not very hard at all. You will have a lot of video lessons like these. You'll be taking a bunch of tests and quizzes and doing a lot of reading just to make sure that you're prepared for the exam in May. There's a lot of practice questions, so I'm going to make sure that you're available or you're ready for that. Like I said before, you will have to think in this course, and that might be a little bit new for some of you guys. Most of the time you just take information absorb it, and regurgitate it. But this time you're actually going to have to process it and really understand what's going on. And the biggest thing that most students have issues with is actually just safety, making sure that you're safe in the lab. If you can take a look at the picture here, we have these folks who are wearing goggles or wearing aprons, and they are being extremely safe in the lab. And that's, again, probably one of the toughest things of the course. It's not the material, it's making sure that you know how to be safe in the lab. And I will make sure I help you with that a lot, so don't worry about it. So your notes will consist of the video lessons, your textbook, as well as any class notes and activities. So the video lessons, they're going to be short little snippet videos, hopefully as short as possible, and in almost every video you'll see references to your textbook. So I want you to go back to your textbook and be able to get more information from there. You will be taking notes on each of the video lessons. I don't want you to be like, oh yeah, I got it, and then just not take any notes. You have to take notes on everything. I am expecting that. And we will have some class notes and notes from activities as well. So pretty much how to be successful in the course. The first and foremost is if you are struggling with any concept, you need to make sure you get help from me. So say for example we watch a video lesson and then we practice it in class the next day. If by the end of that class period you're still confused about that topic, you need to make sure you come see me by the end of the day because we're going to be moving on and we might be building upon that information. And if you don't have a good solid foundation, you won't be successful. And then it's just a big struggle throughout the rest of the year. So I will require that if you don't understand a concept that we're doing in class, you need to come see me that day. All right? Use all of your resources. You got your textbook, my video lessons, each other. You're going to be helping out each other a lot. We have AP review books. And don't forget, YouTube is really great for a lot of extra help if you need it. Set yourself a schedule. You might need to have like an hour, hour and a half, maybe even 2 hours for some nights for homework. That is what's needed for a college course. And again, you are an AP student right now. You will need to make sure that you set aside that time. This is not like any of your other high school courses. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. I know that's a struggle for a lot of students, especially advanced students. They're so terrified to put something down because they're afraid that they're wrong. But don't worry, it's going to be okay. You're going to learn from those mistakes. So again, don't be afraid to make them. Keep up with your work. Don't let yourself slack off for a few days. Biggest thing is don't cheat. That is probably the worst thing that you could do to yourself is by cheating off of others. And that entails, like if we're doing practice problems in class, and if somebody else is doing all the work and you're just copying it down, that's cheating because you're not really understanding what's going on. Again, you're going to have to think for yourself. If there's a problem that we're doing and the answer mathematically doesn't make any sense, think about it again. Look at your work. Make sure that it's all good to go. And another thing is you're in chem class, you're in science. Have fun. Be curious. I want you to ask questions. I want you to look online for experiments and ask me if we can do them. If they're safe and we have the materials and the time, I by all means want to do them because I want to make sure that you have a good experience here in AP Chem. The biggest thing here is taking a look at this. So see if you understand what this means. I've got chemistry, but really chem is try. You need to make sure that you're trying in the course in order to be successful. Really, that's kind of how life is in general. So let me know if you guys have any questions, and I will see you guys soon. Bye.